All right, so picture this. You're at a charming London cafe.
Okay.
The aroma of fresh pastries and coffee beans filling the air.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just one problem you need to order.
Yeah.
And your English skills suddenly feel a little rusty.
Right.
Well, fear not, dear listener, because today's deep dive is tailored just for you.
Okay.
We're dissecting a YouTube tutorial that's designed to transform you into a confident cafe conversationalist.
Excellent.
So we're not just talking about mastering the basics like, coffee please.
Right.
This tutorial dives into those subtle nuances that can make all the difference in how you're perceived.
And we're not just talking about mastering the basics like coffee, please. This tutorial dives into those subtle nuances that can make all the difference in how you're perceived.
Exactly. It's those seemingly small details that can really make you sound like a natural.
It is, and it speaks volumes about your understanding of English-speaking cafe culture.
Like instead of bluntly saying, I want a latte,
Right.
this tutorial suggests something like, can I get you a latte to start?
It's that indirect, polite style that's so common in service interactions.
Subtle. Right.
It's almost like you're saying, I understand there's a bit of a dance here, and I'm happy to play along.
It's like you're a regular, even if it's your first time in that cafe.
Exactly.
And the tutorial is full of these little gems. Like, when is the last time you used the phrase, would you like regular milk or a non-dairy alternative?
Absolutely.
See, sounds way fancier than just saying milk or no milk, right?
And it's these small tweaks that can boost your confidence, even if your grammar isn't perfect yet.
Exactly.
It's all about building that confidence and navigating those everyday interactions with ease.
You know, it's fascinating how much emphasis the tutorial places on the way you phrase things. It even breaks down how to politely inquire about different milk options.
It's like they say, it's not always what you say, but how you say it.
Right.
And this tutorial seems to get that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of smooth ordering.
Cool.
But what about those inevitable moments when you're waiting for your drink? Time for some small talk, right?
Yes, section 2, informal conversation. Now, I know what you might be thinking, small talk. In a cafe, I just want my caffeine fix.
Right.
But trust me, this is where things get interesting.
So you've placed your order flawlessly.
Okay.
And while you're waiting, the barista asks, how's your day going?
This tutorial gives you the tools to not just answer good,
Right.
but to engage in a genuine conversation.
What's brilliant about this section is that it highlights the importance of casual conversation, even in a fast-paced environment like a London cafe.
Right, and it's not just about being polite.
Right.
It's about maximizing your cultural immersion.
It is.
The tutorial suggests asking for recommendations.
Okay.
And this is where you can really shine. Instead of just pointing at a random pastry, imagine saying, what would you recommend with a latte? I'm open to trying something new.
Precisely.
You're not just getting a tasty treat, you're showing that you're interested in their expertise and potentially discovering a hidden gem.
That's right.
And imagine surprising your English-speaking friends by effortlessly chatting with the barista. It shows a deeper understanding of the culture than just knowing how to order your drink.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious, does this level of cafe small talk hold true everywhere?
That's a great question. While a friendly demeanor is always appreciated, the extent of small talk can vary.
Okay.
In some cultures, it's all about efficiency.
Right.
A quick exchange and you're on your way.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But in this London cafe scenario, it seems like those casual chats are part of the charm.
Absolutely. It's about building a sense of community, even if it's just for a few minutes.
Right.
Remember those charming little cafes we talked about earlier? It's these small interactions that add to the experience.
So it's about reading the room, feeling the vibe.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fast forward. You've enjoyed your coffee, maybe even had a good laugh with the barista. Now comes the part that can sometimes be a little awkward, even for seasoned language learners, paying the bill.
Yes, section 3. Managing the bill. This is where some non-native speakers might feel a bit flustered, but the tutorial breaks it down so beautifully.
It does, and it even points out that subtle difference between asking for the check versus the bill, which I thought was fascinating.
It's a nuance that many English learners might miss, but it can make a world of difference in how you're perceived.
It's like asking for the document, right? Instead of being like, all right, how much do I owe you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what I find interesting is the tutorial goes beyond just the phrases themselves. It delves into the importance of actually practicing these scenarios.
Yes, section 4, beyond the phrases, this is where the tutorial really shines, right? Giving us actionable advice.
Yeah.
it encourages listeners to role play.
It really does.
Yeah. Which might sound a little silly at first,
Sure.
but it's a game changer.
Oh, yeah. Think of it like this. You wouldn't show up for a big presentation without rehearsing, would you?
Right.
Practicing these cafe interactions, even if it's with a friend or in front of the mirror, builds that muscle memory.
It's like having those phrases ready to go so when you're in the moment, you're not fumbling for words.
Exactly.
And speaking of being prepared, the tutorial also touches on something crucial: cultural sensitivity,
Yes, very important.
especially when it comes to tipping.
Oh, tipping etiquette.
Yeah.
That can be a minefield even for experienced travelers.
Oh, absolutely.
What's considered generous in one country might be seen as offensive in another.
Right.
I love that the tutorial emphasizes doing your research on local customs.
It's about being a respectful traveler, which ultimately I think makes you a more confident communicator.
I agree.
So we've covered the phrases, the importance of practice, and cultural awareness.
Yeah,
It seems like learning a language isn't just about memorizing words.
it's so true.
It's about embracing the entire experience.
Precisely. It's about immersing yourself in the culture, understanding the nuances. And remember, even native speakers started somewhere. They learned through experience, through those everyday interactions.
It's about the journey, not perfection.
Yeah.
So, dear listener, the next time you find yourself in a new city, perhaps wandering the streets of London, remember this deep dive. Walk into that charming cafe aroma of coffee beckoning you and order with confidence.
You got this.
You've got the tools now. Go out there and use them.
And most importantly, have fun with it. Embrace the little triumphs, the awkward moments, and the joy of connecting with another culture through language.